So what happens in the background is basically the system says, I will take your information and I will crunch it. We are actually using Adobe Cold Fusion, and then it has great ties into Adobe Acrobat or Adobe PDF, okay? They're mother-daughter companies, and so we've made some great tie-ins. So we have a number of features that we actually allow you to export it to PDF, so you can be like, file, save as. So as soon as it's here, okay, it's technically in PDF format right now. So if you were to scroll down, it can do a bunch of different things. If for some reason you needed to tweak it, this is just a little hint, okay? But if it's way big or way small, if you come up here to the address bar at the very, very end, there's actually a scale value. So say I needed to make this thing a little smaller. Say it barely went on to 2 pages, and I was like, I really want to make that a 1-pager. If I change that, like I'm currently on 1 page. See where it says 1 of 1 right up there? Kind of right here where my mouse is, 1 of 1. Say it was 1 of 2, it was just a titch long, I could actually just back that off and go to 90 or whatever. Just for fun, I'm just going to show you what it looks like in a smaller version. If I hit enter again, bloop. So basically now here's my same quote, and I just bought a ton of room. But you have to realize if you do that, it does get smaller and smaller type. Okay? But if you needed to, it's an option. We do allow you to scale it. You can't go past 100%. So if you enter, I want this thing to be, is what we do in the background. It's called validation. It's very important that you know about it. We're like, nice try. We'll just put it to 100. So we watch a number of these pieces, and if I'm showing you and you're like, oh, I'm hacking the system, well guess what? We know you could potentially hack the system that way, so we put up all sorts of barriers against that, okay? So watch this, this is on a different thing. Actually, I'll come back to this. We need to save this as a PDF. I now have what I want, and all I need to do is click on that little save icon right here. If you don't have that, often you'll have to go File, Save As, or different browsers. Sometimes they actually have a little window down here. I'm in Internet Explorer, so I would hit Save, and then I figure out where I want to put it. And just for fun, I'm just going to quickly go into My Documents, Adilas Invoices. You can name it whatever you want, and I'm going to hit Save. Bleep. So now once it's saved to my hard drive, I can then attach that to an email. Okay? But you do need to physically save it. This just creates the PDF format, but it's still on the server. It's kind of like, hey, here's a PDF, you want it? You then have to say, yes, save it to my local drive. And then you can email it, you can use it multiple times, you can do whatever you want. Any questions on that type of thing? Invoices, quotes, POs, bunches of things get to be able to be made into PDFs.
If a company then is kind of concerned that all their invoices or POs are only out on this web, they can go to PDF, download everything, and they can have both. So if they want everything on their computer and their hard drive, when it comes to invoices and POs or whatever we're talking about,
Correct.
You can put everything into your files, boom, hit save, it's there, so you can have both.
Correct, okay? So PDF, this actually creates the whole object. Like, look at this structure. We've got main, we've got line items, we have payments. It creates the whole structure together. We also have tons and tons of exports to Excel. If you just want raw data, if you want it to look pretty, PDF, okay? If you want raw data, I would highly recommend that you just export the thing to Excel. You can even tweak it once you get it into Excel. And we have tons and tons of exports on that type of thing. Any questions on saving to a PDF? Certain browsers are more friendly than others. Every browser can do it if it'll support the PDF function. You do have to have the Acrobat reader. It's a free reader, but basically it's very common on the web. We don't even really mention it because it is so common, but you do have to have a special little Acrobat reader. It's free from Adilas.biz. Any questions on that? So if there's no links back on this particular PDF, if I try to click on my logo, it doesn't work like all the other pages, okay? What we do is PDF, we basically broke every link so it slims it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the SuperBack button because I scaled this thing a couple times. Here's the other scale. Here's back to the printable quote. Bloop. I'll go right back to the printable quote.
So on mine, where's the SuperBack button?
Click and hold. Click and hold.
Firefox.
Yep, click and hold. Click and hold the back. Nope. Click and hold the back button.
That's right. Okay.
There's your SuperBack button. Scroll down and you can go to, say, printable quote. Okay, really quick while we're here, I see that mine still says that I have an active cart because I kind of went back. If I click on it and it says, hey, you really don't have a cart, like say I cleared this, watch this, I'm going to clear the cart, but if I hit my back button and say there's still an icon here, well, it feels like I'm in a cart still, okay, because I used my back button, but as soon as I actually cleared it, guess what happened to my session?
It's not.
But it still looks like it's here because that's a function of the browser.
Because you actually went back to the page that was there, not when it's actually there.
You nailed it. You nailed it. So if I try to interact with this, guess what's going to actually happen? It looks like I've got a page and I've got links and I've got
It's not
everything.
gonna take anything?
It's going to give me a little error message, okay? So watch this. Say I come down here and I click on edit. Say I wanted to edit. Oh no, what happened? Unable to show you the cart line item. I can't find your cart. You know, like basically it's
So you're just
basically
gonna need to go to new cart and be done with it.
or you go back to that thing and you restore it to the cart, or you recreate a cart. Basically, what happened is, like she said, as soon as I hit save cart, it cleared out that little session piece. But if I use my browser back button, historically, it still was there, okay? So if you're trying to interact with it, it's like, I no longer have that piece, I don't know what to do. And so it will throw a small error. But hopefully some of our error messages will actually help you out and kind of know what to do, okay? One of the things that we were talking about, remember how I was telling you like scale and all this different little things like this? What we're going to do is I'm going to just go to a simple little quote and say, what was your quote number again that we were looking at? From Mikkel?
40.
43, what was it, 43?
40.
Okay, so if I know the number, I can go right to it. Watch this. I'm also going to go like this. MAK. Go get me all the quotes that were for MAK. It went and got me every single quote from Mikkel. I just used a quick search. If you want the quick search, it's literally one of the fastest things around. Okay, I see you looking like, whoa, I missed that. You want me to do it again? Okay, watch this. We're going to go from any page. It doesn't even matter where I'm at. Okay? I'm like, I know that the person's name is Mikkel or Mikkel Moore, and I know that it's in the quote section. You kind of have to think systematically, okay? Where is this thing stored? You're going to select quote, and then I'm going to put part of her name in there, okay? K-E-L-L, okay? It's part of her name. Go get me everything that matches that. So that would have also matched a Kelly. It would have matched, whatever else would have had that K-E-L-L in it, okay? I instantly have all of the little quotes that you've created for Mikkel. What I wanted to show you real quick was just some validation that we run in the background, just so that you know what's actually happening. If I click on a printable quote for her, and up here at the top, I showed you how we can easily change this. If I wanted to go to like 41, it would let me pop right into that one. Oh, this is Billy. Who did this one? Oh, Ethan did this one. Okay, great. Here's the validation I wanted to show you, okay? If I try to be tricky and I'm like, I think I know how to hack this thing, watch this. I'm going to start putting some little stuff like this and some, like, whatever sort of code. You submit this thing, it'll basically come back and like, sorry, I didn't get a valid quote number. It tries to be nice, but basically we know that that's a potential spot where you could get access in. Forms are a potential spot, and URL variables are a spot. And so we validate it like crazy, and basically we just watch for it.
This is neat. I put in a name under quote. I put my name MCC, but I knew I didn't have that as a quote. So it didn't say error, it said didn't find, but you can find this in customers and invoice. So it actually told me where I could go to find this, even though it wasn't in quotes.
Okay,
So-
we've really tried a lot to help with the error messages, and if you get an error message, don't go, just read it. Oh, okay.
Wow, that's awesome. You just told me, oh, you don't look in quotes, you're looking in the wrong thing. So
Yeah.
just
And there's a bunch of different things. Can I show you one other really helpful help file that might help you? How many of you guys have liked what we've told you about the quick search? Okay? It's a great little thing. Can I show you where an awesome help file is? Let's have everybody go home to their main homepage. And guess what? There happens to be a top little box right there that says quick search. Click on that little guy right there. Okay, so this is just kind of a standalone little piece of cake one. It's very simple. But what it has is it has a help file attached to it, okay? This help file actually says, hey, the Adilas Quick Shirts comes in 2 flavors, the standalone version or the one that's on top of every page. They do the exact same thing, okay? We need to thank Mr. David back there for this idea, because originally we had it just on the home page. And every single time he wanted to quickly jump somewhere, he constantly had to come back to this home page, and he says, wouldn't it be awesome if we could do this? And we're like, oh, that's a great idea. I hope you know, I would say, I don't even want to give you a full number, but I would say probably over 50% of Adilas, and I would dare say it's even that high, is due to user ideas and stuff.
That's right.
It's amazing. Like, we come up with a concept, and we kind of like, we do this thing that we call tri-storming. And I've talked with Shannon a little bit about tri-storming and stuff. Shannon, can I pick on you a little bit and see if you can remember what tri-storming is versus brainstorming?
Yeah, I feel like tri-storming is where you basically just try it out, isn't it? You just submit it and go for it and then adjust from there.
Okay, I love the adjust from there, and it is just a try, but here's the cool piece, okay? Often brainstorming is like this. Brainstorming and detailing and noting and detailing and da-da-da-da-da-da. You spend so much time here, and then when you actually go to implement it, if anything's wrong, it's like, oh no. So what you do is you still do the brainstorming. You get it as good and as tight and as close as you can, but you know you might have to circle back again, okay? And you call it tri-storming rather than brainstorming. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but I mean, I've had certain things that I detail it out on paper, and then in real life, I totally forgot a key element. Or maybe it's that time element that I forgot. I'm like, how does that play into it? So tri-storming is putting it out there and then purposely kind of circling back. It's a great mentality to kind of get into. So anyway, what I wanted to show you here was this is just a small little help file for the thing. And I'm going to explain this graphic here for just a quick second. We were just looking at the map. Another way to look at this thing, remember how I say it's kind of like a global thing with this orbits and the different places? Well, imagine if you were looking at a core shot of this particular circular globe, okay? In the middle is your main hub or your home page, okay? Your next level out, say we're just at the second level out right here, okay? This second level, and I didn't even have enough spaces here, but these are your sub home pages. Does that make sense? So you have the main hub, invoice homepage, quote homepage, customer homepage, elements of time homepage, vendor homepage, etc. Expense receipts, deposits. Like, these are all your sub homepages around the nucleus of the cell. Okay, once you get into that, say we're in the invoice homepage, it's going to spread out. You have sales tax. You now have profit and loss reports. You now have etc. 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 That's where it starts expanding. Say we're right here. Let's just follow one little thing. Main hub, invoice homepage, all of the special features that deal with this. Can I search it? Can I export? Can I pull reports? Can I do sales tax? Can I do whatever? And then this is all the data that's actually way out, okay? Does that make a little bit more sense, how each little section kind of filters out like that? Steve, do you have any comments on that?
No, I think that's a really good analogy, and again, that's something that everybody has to just try to get their head around, is how how we got everything set up and how it can be reached from almost any place within the system. You can just jump back and add and mix, and when you get into reports and things like that, you have tons of functionality of I want this, but I don't want this, and I want the state range, and you're just basically pulling all that. So it helps to have a really good analogy of kind of you sitting in the middle of that. I always like to think of I'm sitting in the middle and I can just kind of swing around and say, I need this from here, and I need this from over here. It's kind of like you're in the center control room right here.
Awesome. We kind of call that center control room your main home page. That's your jump zone, okay? And from there, you're actually able to jump to these little sub-locations. And once you figure out where the data is stored in these different little containers, all of a sudden, you can immediately go to that. One of the pieces that people have problems with Adilas is we allow you to put these things in here, and they're like, where did I put that, or how in the world am I going to get it? Once you get your head and concept around it, like, where are your items? Oh, that's in the invoice section, in the line item section. All of a sudden, I know exactly how to get there, and I can show you some awesome reports. If you're like, I sold something. Maybe I'll go check the customer. We have tons of links from customers back to invoices, but it's not the customer that's physically gonna be holding that, okay? The customer is like, I am holding all these other pieces, but these other pieces are technically stored in a different place. So once you kind of spatially learn it, I actually love the word you used, and I might use it more and more. You use system learning. This is system learning, okay? This is not a linear. Of this whole picture, where are things? It's a system learning. I love that concept.